I'll go ahead and start. Welcome to Now What with Jeanna, where I answer questions, offer tips, and say stupid shit that I'm sure I will later regret about addiction, sobriety, and recovery. If you have a question, feel free to let me know. I'm not sure how the questions are going to work today on Instagram. I know I can see the questions as they post on the other platforms. I'm working with some new technology, and I'm really excited. It looks good. If you are on Facebook, hopefully I will know after this is done whether or not you get the video. But if you are on Facebook, hopefully it looks amazing. So we'll see what happens. Let me get adjust here. There we go. Anyways, today I am going to talk about depression, specifically holiday depression. And I'm looking to see, no one's joined yet as far as I can tell. I don't even know on Facebook. We'll see. I'm also got able to go on YouTube and Twitter. And I don't know if Lincoln's working on this platform yet. One of them wasn't getting connected right, but if not, that's okay. I'm a little nervous to go on LinkedIn. I don't know why. However, if yes, then it'll jump me ahead of the game. So I'm doing it without the nerves freaking me out. So anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and start with the topic. By the way, actually, I'll start here. Wanted to make an announcement. Next week, I will not be able to be on at this time. I may come in at a different time. I have a holiday party to go to. And so I will be doing that. I don't get invited to those very often. Work kind of holiday party. It's dinner. And dinner's paid for. And yeah, I'm going. So there you go. Anyways. So the topic that came up for me today to talk about is depression. And real quick, the reason, so let's just tell you what happened yesterday. I spent Wednesday nights at my mom's house taking care of some odds and ends that she sometimes needs taken care of. And the odd and end that she needed taken care of last night was Christmas tree. My sister came over and did the front Christmas tree or the back living room, the main Christmas tree. I did the other one, and then I do some dishes. But anyways, it's Christmas tree. We don't have a Christmas tree for a reason. The reason is I get depressed, and it just makes me sad. I haven't enjoyed the holidays. And I would say since my son passed, but truth is I haven't enjoyed the holidays for many, many years. I know my mom would get real depressed during the holidays. Not real depressed. I don't know if depressed is the word. Anxious for sure. And so maybe a little bit of that has bled over. But I really just haven't enjoyed them for a long time. Last night, though, I was actually having a fairly good time. I wasn't like all excited and, blowing everyone away with my energy, but it was okay. It was calm and it was smooth. And then I took a look. I noticed some Christmas decorations in a curio cabinet my mom has, and so I took a look in that curio cabinet to see what it was. And next to the decorations was my son's ashes, and if you can tell, I'm getting a little. It's hard to talk about, but. So I noticed the ashes there, and I don't know. That's when my mood just shifted. It just completely dropped. And this is typical for this time of year for me. Usually November 1st, I start because the weather gets colder, and from Thanksgiving to mid-February, I have difficulty with depression. And a lot of that's got to do with my son and the holidays. And then mid-February is his birthday. And just before that was his passing date. So yeah, I get depressed, but there's some other things that cause grief and depression during this time. And I wanted to talk about those things because they're typical, like the triggers were for the Thanksgiving when I did, they're typical, but to this time of year. So the first one I want to talk about is the stress of gift giving. The stress of gift giving. I have a lot of stress with gift giving. Um, and it comes with the next one, which is comparison to others. We'll talk about that in a minute, or maybe I'll just kind of combine the discussion. So gift giving, I get a lot of anxiety. I want to buy the perfect gift. On top of that, I have, and maybe this is where the anxiety comes from, or where I have, the panic attacks I've had in the past couple of years have been all about shopping. I don't know why, but well, I do know why, because I get very anxious about the gifts that I'm buying. Are they going to be the right ones? Will they love them? Will they? Hello, I see someone has joined. I'm not sure where, but if you are there, let me know. Please say hi in the comments. I would appreciate that. Anyways, talking about holiday depression and some of the things that bother me specifically and that may bother you. And if you've never joined me here on Now What with Jeanna, the whole format is about sobriety. I say all things about sobriety and recovery, and that's about it. Some mental health stuff, which is what I'm talking about right now with depression, but it's all because it ties in. Anyways, I get stressed about gift giving. I get depressed because I can't buy the gifts that I want to buy for people, or even when I have the money to buy the gifts, will they be good enough? And that's not something I should be concerned about, but it bothers me, and I get depressed over it, and I actually don't go shopping. I won't go shopping. The past couple of years, I have bought gifts for my granddaughters, and that's it. And I don't enjoy buying those gifts, not because I don't enjoy buying them for them. It just creates so much anxiety in me that I don't enjoy it. Anyways, the next one I want to talk about is unrealistic expectations, and I think this one's pretty common as well. When I was growing up, most of us believe in Santa Claus for at least a portion of the time. And then after that, it just kind of breaks down after that. It's no longer this fantasy holiday. It's about gift giving and getting, and we can enjoy that. I still enjoyed getting presents for Christmas. It was still a great time, but it was not about Santa Claus. That fantasy was gone. As you become an adult, it's those expectations change. Are you going to be able to buy the right gifts, especially for your own children? Have the money to buy the gifts for your children? Are you, the turkey are you going to burn the turkey? Are you looking forward to that Norman Rockwell Christmas where everyone sits around very happy? And then when those expectations don't happen the way you had hoped, then what? When the big fight breaks out over turkey dinner and mashed potatoes are flying across the room. That has never happened to me, but those big fights have broken out. Oh gosh, for Christmas? I don't recall any, but I'm sure they have. I do know that people have drank too much. I know that, the worst Christmas I had, not worst Christmas I had, but the biggest disappointment. This is an unrealistic explanation. I'm stuttering. Unrealistic expectation is I was expecting, I think I was about 13, 14 years old, and I was expecting, a good present from my dad. And I got a card with $20 in it that said for the paper boy. I don't think a present was an unrealistic expectation, but that particular present was a slap in the face, and it's made Christmases not so great. So next one on the list is comparisons to others. We compare ourselves to other people. This is part of my gift giving problem. I compare what I can buy to presents that other family members buy other people, and I can't stand up to those presents. I can't purchase the $100 gifts for each and every nephew and niece, and um, I can't spend a couple $100 on my granddaughters. And then even when I do, I would like, or when I don't, when I think I've got the perfect gift, I would like the reaction that I see, about other gifts from other people, not just my granddaughters, but if you don't get that right reaction and you end up comparing yourself to other people, comparing yourself to the Norman Rockwell Christmas, comparing yourself to good Lord, even comparing your Christmas, my Christmas now compared to my Christmas 20 years ago when I had 20, 30 people at my house for Christmas dinner. And I remember there was one, I think it was actually Thanksgiving, a couple of years ago. I spent Thanksgiving alone eating popcorn, and that was quite depressing. So the next one I want to talk about is loss of loved ones. I told you when we first started that I was feeling the loss of my son that created depression, but there's another loss that those of us who drink feel, and that is a loss of a best friend in our friend who is alcohol. I had talked to someone just a couple days ago, and she said she was feeling depressed and she didn't know why. And I said, "Have you thought about the fact that alcohol is not available for you anymore? You know, that you can't rely on that to numb your emotions and your feelings. That you may have been feeling that depression all along, but because you're so involved in the alcohol, that you don't actually get to feel it. So we lose that. We lose that backup plan. We lose that way to relax for the holidays or for the Christmas parties. We lose part of being involved in all that. And if we're just getting sober, we still miss that. I don't miss that at all. But when I was just getting sober, I didn't go to any Christmas parties. I didn't want to go to any Christmas parties. I did things that didn't surround myself in Christmas or involve Christmas because I knew that I would get depressed with these. So if you're feeling that loss of alcohol during the holiday season, it's okay. It's completely okay and totally normal. And then the last one I want to talk about, and it has nothing to do really with Christmas, but it does have everything to do with this time of year. And that's seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. And what happens is when we get less light in the day, sun goes up, down earlier, comes up later, there's fewer hours of that light, it quite often creates a depression in a lot of people. I think my son suffered from that a bit. I don't think it was the only kind of depression he suffered from. But I do know that around February, which is the month that he killed himself, around February, he would get depressed, and I got depressed. I think January, February was always my hardest months. It's at the tail end of that, those days of. By the time I got to February, I was done with winter. So, anyways, what can you do about it? If you start feeling depression during the holidays, as I am right now, first thing I want to suggest is that you invite it in. Vince says something that I absolutely love. I think it's the coolest thing in the world. He says, you know what? When depression knocks on my door, when those feelings knock on my door, I go ahead and open the door. I ask them in. I don't make them a cup of coffee. I don't make them a sandwich. I don't ask them to stay or put up a bed for them or anything else. I ask them to come in, tell me what you got to tell me, and then there's the back door. And I love that idea because really your emotions and your depression's trying to tell you something. And if you take a minute to listen to them and to feel them, you might learn something about yourself. Now, I want to say that this is a novel idea for those of us who drink in order to hide our emotions. We don't want to feel them. And for me to ask you or invite you to feel them might be a little bit difficult. But it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be depressed or mad or angry. All of those feelings are okay. Every single one of them. I was thinking the other day, I don't know if I've said it on a post, but I was thinking the other day, you don't have to be happy all the time, every day. In fact, back in the caveman time, we could die from being happy all the time, every day. If we're sitting in the middle of a field and we're just happy and la 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 and enjoying the tiger that's in front of us about to eat us, and we don't, our emotions don't react, and we don't take action based on those emotions, if that's what we're doing, the tiger is going to eat us. So it is important that we feel all of those emotions. Anger pushes us to move forward. Sadness might have us move back or isolate a little bit. Happiness gets us excited and motivates us. And so these emotions mean something, but when we drink to numb them, we're missing half of our emotions. We're not getting the benefit of that anxiety or of that depression or of that anger. We're not getting what that can do for us. So next, if you're feeling your emotions and they're not good, you're feeling the depression, why don't you go ahead and treat yourself to something special? So last night I was feeling it, and my mom asked me, but I didn't want to tell her. I didn't know what to tell her. And then I just decided, you know what, instead of doing some more work, which is something I would normally have done, instead of doing more work, I'm going to go ahead and go to bed, not wallow in my bed, but go to bed, have a cup of hot cocoa and watch a good movie. And I treated myself with love. I didn't want to do any work. I didn't, I just took care of myself. So if you're feeling those emotions and that depression for this holiday season, go ahead and feel free to take care of yourself. Give yourself some love. Don't give yourself a glass of alcohol. That's all that's going to do is numb it. And then you're going to feel guilty or depressed or shamed the next day. If you're trying to stay sober and you're not doing it, it's not going to help. So, but definitely give yourself a treat. Give yourself a hot bath with bubbles and candles and some really good, relaxing music. I actually like to listen to female jazz singers, Billie Holiday, and that's the only one I can remember at the moment. So I like to listen to that when I'm feeling down. Not too down. I don't know if it's too down, it can make me sad. So next one is give yourself a time limit. I heard this before, that people, especially this was an athlete that said this, I think it was a basketball player. What he said was that when he fails, he gives himself to the next morning to mourn, to be angry, to feel that depression or that failure, to feel it. So he gives himself to the next morning to feel it. And then in the next morning when he wakes up, he doesn't allow himself to dwell on that. So anyways, hi, I'm not sure who joined. I'm using a new device today. I'm not even sure if I'm getting any of the messages on here. If I would love it if you said hello and which platform you're on. Otherwise, I'm testing some new programs, and I would love to say hi to you, but I don't know who you are. So anyways, let's see. Give yourself a time limit. Mourn or be sad for as long as you need to be sad, and then go ahead and let go. Vince likes to take a walk once in a while, and I think that probably is one of the best things for me, to get out, to get breathing, to get moving, and go ahead and enjoy the day, whatever it is. And then the last thing is what I am doing here right now, and that is I'm feeling a little depression, and rather than bottling up and isolating and keeping it to myself and crying over it on my own, I'm talking about it, letting people know. I've talked about it to Vince. I didn't talk about it to my mom last night, but I did mention it to her this morning. I just let people know, and I think this is so important. As you know, my son died from suicide, and had he have talked about it, he might not have done what he did. I might have understood more what he was going through. I might have been able to help. And I know many of us aren't at that stage yet, or a mild depression doesn't mean definite suicide. But if you talk about it before you get to that point, you're it's just much healthier. and to let your family know what's going on, and give them an opportunity to help you out if you need it. So, anyways, that's it. I didn't see a whole lot of people on here on either platform. I know that with the holidays coming, things are kind of shifting around and there are going to be some events, but I'm going to go ahead and put this on as a replay. So, watch at your leisure. Ask any questions. I'll be watching them over the next week. So, if you have a question or you want a topic to talk about, just go ahead and feel free to put it in the comments, and I will address them as we go. If it's a good topic, then I might go ahead and do it. I probably, like I said, next week I won't be available because I'm going to a Christmas dinner party, and but I'll probably up to Christmas talk about the holidays a bit. So I don't know if you've got something to ask about with the holidays coming up, that question you help you need. Let me know in the comments, and I will go ahead and address them if I can. I think, actually, here's a question. If you stick around long enough and you like this idea, what do you think about non-alcoholic holiday drinks? Because we have that happening on a podcast tomorrow. We're recording it, and on the podcast, I think that she's got some recipes, and I could talk about some recipes next time I come on. So if you like that idea, let me know. If you have another question, let me know. And if you want more connection, go ahead and join us on Now What with, well, this is Now What with Jeanna. Join us on the Now Sober Facebook group. Let us know who you are. It is a group for women in recovery. So anyways, that's it. All right. Thanks. And I will see you week after next. Thank you. Oops. And video and stream.